Nobody in that room expected the moment to unfold the way it did. The cameras were already rolling. The microphones were live. The atmosphere felt charged, like everyone sensed something interesting might happen, but no one knew just how sharp it would become. When Donald Trump walked in, he appeared confident and relaxed. He smiled, waved slightly, and carried himself the way he always does in high-pressure settings, like he'd been there before and knew exactly how it would play out. Across from him sat Jasmine Crockett, calm, composed, and noticeably patient. At first, the exchange followed a familiar script. A few verbal jabs. Some bold remarks. Trump leaned into what he often emphasizes: strength, success, and intelligence. And then came a claim he has repeated for years, that he has one of the highest IQs, maybe higher than anyone in the room. The audience reacted with scattered laughter and nods. It sounded like just another confident remark. But this time, something was different. Crockett didn't interrupt. She didn't argue. She waited. And then she asked a single, simple question: since you've mentioned your IQ so many times, would you mind sharing the actual number? The energy in the room shifted subtly at first. Trump laughed briefly and brushed it off. "It's very high," he said. "Very, very high." Some supporters chuckled. But Crockett didn't move on. "I understand," she replied evenly. "But what is the number?" That's when the room went quiet. Trump adjusted slightly in his seat. "I don't think we need to get into that," he responded. And just like that, the exchange stopped being casual. Crockett calmly reached for a thin folder. No theatrics. No raised voice. Just steady focus. "You've publicly challenged others to IQ comparisons," she continued. "You've questioned the intelligence of opponents and suggested you would score higher than most elected officials." She paused. "So I think it's fair to clarify." Now every camera in the room was locked in. Trump leaned back, dismissing the premise. "Everyone knows I'm smart. I built a successful business." But Crockett wasn't debating business accomplishments. She wasn't arguing policy. She was staying on one narrow point: consistency. "If there's a documented score," she asked again, "what is it?" The silence stretched. And that silence became the story. She referenced publicly available information indicating there was no officially recorded IQ score released during his presidency. She didn't accuse. She didn't insult. She simply noted that no formal number had been presented to the public. "So when you say you have one of the highest IQs," she asked, "what are you referring to?" Trump pushed back, saying he didn't need to prove anything. But by then, the moment had already shifted. Because the issue wasn't really about a number. It was about credibility. For years, IQ had been used rhetorically, sometimes as a comparison point, sometimes as a criticism toward others. Crockett reframed the conversation around accountability. "If there's no official score," she said calmly, "is it responsible to keep repeating the claim?" That line landed harder than any insult could have. Trump attempted to pivot, calling the question irrelevant. But Crockett tightened the focus. "You introduced IQ into political debate," she said. "I'm simply asking for clarity. No shouting. No chaos. Just a steady spotlight." At one point, Trump said he would likely score higher than her. Without hesitation, Crockett responded, "Then let's schedule it." The audience reacted audibly. Because now the challenge was concrete. Same test. Same conditions. Trump repeated that he didn't need to prove himself. And then Crockett delivered the line that would echo far beyond the room, "If you don't need to prove it, then maybe stop promising it." No dramatic music. No raised voices. Just a sentence that cut through years of rhetoric. For a brief moment, Trump didn't respond immediately. And in political theater, hesitation can speak volumes. The moderators eventually moved the discussion forward. But by then, the defining moment had already happened. Within minutes, clips began circulating online. Not because a secret number had been revealed but because one hadn't. Commentators debated the larger issue: if IQ is irrelevant, why bring it up if it's meaningful? Why not document it? Supporters defended Trump, arguing that intelligence isn't defined by a test score. Critics focused on the broader pattern of bold claims without specifics. But Crockett's follow-up interviews reframed the entire exchange. This wasn't about IQ, she explained. It was about how we define leadership. And that's where the conversation evolved. Leadership isn't measured by slogans. It's measured by consistency. If a claim becomes part of a public brand, eventually someone may ask for proof. What stunned viewers wasn't a low score. It wasn't a dramatic reveal. It was something far quieter. A direct question. What is the number? 4 words that transformed a routine exchange into a viral political moment. Trump entered that room expecting another standard back and forth. Instead, he encountered something sharper, not louder, not aggressive, just focused. And sometimes, the most powerful move in a debate isn't raising your voice. It's calmly asking for clarity. The real shock wasn't